Ben had somehow become everybody's emergency contact for money. School fees, they called Ben. Rent was short, Ben. Family contribution, Ben again. And most times, if he could help, he did. Sometimes it was a small amount, sometimes it was more than he really wanted to give. Sometimes the money came back, sometimes it didn't, and sometimes nobody even mentioned it again. But Ben kept helping. He cared about the people around him. And somewhere along the way, something else started happening. He began to assume that if things ever got bad for him, somebody would show up too. He never really said that out loud. He just believed it. Then one month, things actually got tight. A payment Ben was expecting was delayed. At the same time, he had an expense that could not wait. For once, Ben was the one short on money. At first, he wasn't too worried. He thought, okay, I've helped people before. I'll ask for a little help and pay it back when my money comes in. So he called someone he had helped more than once. The answer came quickly. Things are tight right now. Ben understood. He called someone else. I wish you had told me earlier, another person said. Let me see what I can do. Then nothing came. Someone else stopped replying completely. That one hurt. Not because Ben believed anyone owed him their money, but because for the first time he realized he had been treating generosity like insurance. He had been giving with his heart. But somewhere in the back of his mind, he also believed that if life ever turned on him, those same people would be there. That was the mistake. Helping someone is not the same as putting money aside for yourself. You cannot give someone money today and assume that same help will be available when you need it later. People have their own problems, their own bills, their own emergencies. Some of them may genuinely want to help you and still not be able to. And Ben had to learn that the hard way. He still had the bill in front of him. He still had to solve the problem. Eventually, he figured something out. He cut a few expenses, delayed what could wait, moved some money around. And when the payment he had been expecting finally came in, the pressure eased. But the experience stayed with him. Ben did not stop helping people after that. He just started helping differently. Before he gave money, he asked himself one simple question. If this never comes back, will I still be okay? If the answer was yes, he could help. If the answer was no, then maybe he was giving too much. That changed everything. He started building an emergency fund properly. Money that was there for his own problems. Money he could reach for without making phone calls, without explaining himself, without waiting for somebody to answer. And when people asked for help, he still listened. Sometimes he still gave. Sometimes he gave less. Sometimes he helped in another way. A contact, a recommendation, a ride, a conversation. Anything that could help without putting his own finances in danger. And yes, sometimes the answer was simply no. That part was uncomfortable at first, because when people are used to hearing yes from you, even a reasonable no can suddenly feel like you have changed. But Ben had changed, just not in the way they thought. He had finally understood that helping everybody while leaving yourself exposed is not generosity you can sustain. If one emergency can wipe you out after you have spent years solving everyone else's emergencies, something has to change. Being generous is a good thing, but overgiving can become expensive, and if you keep giving for money you cannot afford to lose, eventually somebody else's emergency can become yours. So maybe the goal is not to become stingy. Maybe it is to know your limit. Help when you can. Give what you can afford to lose. And keep enough back so that if life turns on you tomorrow, you are not depending on everybody you once helped to save you. So let me ask you something. Have you ever been the person everyone came to for help, and then found yourself alone when you needed something? Tell me in the comments. And if you enjoy money stories that actually happen in real life, subscribe. There's more coming.